But if leadership is not there, then we govern by crisis. And today, unfortunately, we govern by crisis after crisis after crisis. And the danger with that, and I've been, in elective office, you could operate that way. You don't have to get anybody mad at you. You don't have to cut anybody's benefits or raise anybody's taxes. You just basically do nothing until crisis gets so bad that you can then blame the crisis. But let me tell you something, there's a price to be paid. And the price is you lose the trust of the American people in our system of governing. And very frankly, trust is everything. So I hope they get back to understanding that they have got to lead this country and not simply sit back and worry about protecting their rear end in office.
That was Leon Panetta, of course, the former defense secretary. I was interviewing him at the 92nd Street Y last night before an audience in New York, and he was voicing his frustrations with both the White House and Congress, with both political parties. Joining me now to talk about Washington and frustration with politics is Chris Matthews, who knows it better, host of Hardball here on MSNBC and the author of Tip and the Gipper, available now in paperback. And this is perfectly timed because Leon Panetta is talking about the way things used to be when he first came to Washington and people worked across the aisle. And he, in fact, started out as a Republican who quit the Nixon administration in protest against the failure to act on civil rights legislation.
He was head of the Civil Rights Division, HHS.
And then he was the House Budget Chair as a Democrat. But talk about Tip and the Gipper and the Washington used
Let me get right to what we're talking about right now. Take the issue that everybody says is important, immigration. Okay. For the Hispanic groups, of course, it means liberation from the government coming after you because people have been here 20 years. They feel like they're Americans. They are Americans, but they're not legal yet. So they want that sort of situation changed, obviously. They want to be papered. They want a documentation. They want to be legal residents, and they'd like to be citizens in almost every case. On the other hand, you have people who are anti-immigrant, who think there's just too many people racing across the border every night. On our cameras, we see them race across. There is a compromise. The compromise is simply this. They don't have to build the walls higher. Don't have to do anything special in deportation. Simply say you can't hire people illegally in this country, like every other country in the world. You can't go to France and work illegally. You and I can't go.
Right.
You have to have working papers. Just simply do that. Now, business will fight that. I don't know why the labor unions would fight it. The Hispanic groups won't like it, but they'll know it's the only pathway to citizenship for everybody. Everybody here becomes a citizen over time. And over time, I think it's 4 years in the Senate bill, which is a very good bill. You have to have an ID card.
It's a good
bill.
It was passed more than a year ago.
It's a good bill. It basically has teeth in it, unlike Simpson-Mazzoli back in '86. It's a real bill that says you have to have a photo ID card, and by E-Verify will work. I'm sure you can go get a job raking leaves somewhere in this country legally or shoveling snow, but you can't get a real job in this country unless you're here legally. That's a tough set of teeth. Now, why don't the Democrats say that? Why doesn't the president say, instead of pandering to the Hispanic vote and liberals, why doesn't he just say, you know what, I'm willing to strike a compromise. We got to get tough on illegal immigration, and this is the way to do it, because the real magnet for people coming here is not welfare. It's not crime, certainly, or drug dealing. It's to get a job. And as long as we say you have to get papers to come in here to work here in this country, it'll work. And nobody wants to say, you know why? Because the Republicans want to get the anti-immigrant vote, and the Democrats want the pro-immigrant vote, and the immigrant vote, right? But nobody wants a bill, a compromise. And somebody's got to lead and say, you know what? Game's over. It's time to get something done.
David Ignatius has written today that President Obama, the White House, is considering bringing in some new talent, maybe people who are better at getting things done. He said Obama appears to be interested in a talent infusion that would add depth and expertise. A model was his recent appointment of retired General John Allen as special envoy for Iraq and Syria. More such top-level hires may be coming in an effort to widen the administration's bandwidth.
Yeah, layer it up. That'll help. And layering it up doesn't work. What you have to do is he has to have, like they do in football. You and I go to so many games together. 2-minute drill. He's got a 2-year drill. Many presidencies, ever since we remember Eisenhower, great last 2 years. Certainly Reagan pulled out of Iran-Contra, had a great end of the Cold War. Clinton, after all the Monica stuff, had a great ending at the end. He needs a really good close. That means a good 2-year plan. He needs a chief of staff who's really a chief of staff. I'm not getting into names here, but he needs a structure of action and accountability and get things done. He also needs to set a limited number of objectives. Immigration reform, as I just said, is doable. A big fiscal deal, which pulls down the entitlements, deals with change CPI, puts more money into infrastructure, cuts the corporate rates by plugging the loopholes. There's a grand deal there, and why wouldn't he push for it? And if Boehner gets in his way, fine. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing and pushing. The American people know where you stand. He can do it, but he isn't doing it. As somebody just said, Leon just said, and I don't like the way he came out of the administration. He should be a loyalist. But I'm not part of that team. I can say anything I want. and call it as I see it. And the fact is, this president has an opportunity to put it together, but he has to stop playing politics, stop running for office, stop playing the ethnic groups, and say, look, I've only got 2 years left. I'm going to get something done.